stock on our radar now is Cox Kings. It was a steady set of numbers that the company reported. So let's speak to the management. Anil Khandelwal, the CFO of the company, joins us now to talk about that. Mr. Khandelwal, morning. Good quarter, net profits this time of 118 crores versus a loss earlier. But that was, of course, due to a couple of reasons. But this time, on the base of this 118 crores of profits, where do you see the growth in the second half of the year?
Well, if you see this first quarter, all the divisions have performed quite in line with expectations. India and Mininger has performed exceedingly well. And I think from our perspective, the H1 is always relatively a bulkier part of our portion of our business. And H2 relatively from the education side is, off-season. But nevertheless, from an annual perspective, we expect a good set of numbers for Q3 as Q4 as well. If you see this particular quarter, we had a 13% increase in net revenues as well as a 13% increase in EBITDA.
It would have been so much better to speak to Cox Kings about the ensuing holiday season and plan your holidays rather than discuss numbers, Anil. But nevertheless, when you say that your Q2 normally tends to be a little mellow, you'll have done about 685 crore in terms of income. How much does that normally? You do about 10% less than that in second quarter? In second half?
But not really 10% as such, because education, the 70% of our business gets actually done in H1. So a bulk of it actually gets done in the H1. I would say the H2 would be almost around 30% of what we do in H1.
Okay. What is the sense you're getting in terms of growth, though, year on year? Does it look like vacationers are finally coming around and buying more? Year on year terms, will second half look better than last year's second half?
Well, I think the trend in terms of booking holidays has changed, and if you just track it from the last 5 to 6 years, rather than a summer holiday season, actually it has become all around, all over the year phenomena. So, especially the Diwali, we are quite optimistic about the booking trends which we are seeing, as well as for the Christmas holiday. So, I'm quite positive about what we can pan out in terms of the India business.
Okay, well, tell us a little bit about the international leisure business, which is 30% of revenues. That's the segment that Lata and me are interested in the most, international travel. Just a 5% top line is what you've seen this quarter. When will you get back to double-digit growth?
So let me just clarify, the international travel doesn't cover the Indians traveling overseas. Okay. That actually comes in the Leisure India business, which has grown by 15%. So the Leisure International travel is primarily our international subsidiaries which sell holiday packages. Okay. Over there, yes, you're right in terms of the EBITDAs have been flattish. But I think from the perspective of acquisition of late rooms, I think the international leisure will start picking up from next year onwards.
Okay, we'll have to leave it at that, Anil, because the IDFC press conference is starting. There, of course, it was a bad set of numbers. We saw that huge PBT loss, largely because of expenses on the new bank, as well as